some people in the grave, but this is a part of the history. And this is the really pictures which show about the Germans. The German chosen Bagamoyo as the center of the operations in 1886. But officially, the German came here soon after the Berlin Conference. The Berlin Conference was held in the Berlin city in 1884 up to 1885. So the impact of that meeting was to divide the Africa, where the Germans succeeded to get their interest here in Tanganyika. And the Sultan of Zanzibar, or the Sultan of Oman, got Zanzibar and the 10 miles from the sea to the interior for the whole coast of the East Africa. This was belong of the Sultan of Zanzibar. Even the place where we are, this was belong of the Sultan of Zanzibar. And the British remained with the Kenya and Uganda. So the Germans came here as a company, which was known as the Dutch East African Company, came here in 1886. When they arrived here, the company, they signed a treaty with the Sultan of Zanzibar. The treaty bestowed on the company the right to collect custom duties along the coast strait, which included Bagamoyo. So the German chosen Bagamoyo as the center of the operation, while the Sultan was in Zanzibar. But the German company was not, however, satisfied with this more financial concession. So in August 1888, the German carrier arrived here in Bagamoyo, and the German officials ordered the representative of the Sultan of Zanzibar to lower the Sultan flag. On the refusal, the German forcibly entered in the house, lowered the Sultan flag, cut the flag staff, and the hosted German flag in here. So from that time, the colonial era had down in Tanganyika. And the German instituted a number of administrative measures. These measures including the registration of firearms, equal rights for women in the courts, the land and the property ordinance, which require that ownership must be proved and the value of a property registered. So this new policy, which done by the Germans, was totally confused the Arabs and caused the resistance against the Germans. This was the earliest resistance along the coast, which was started by the Arabs and Africans. So it's known as the Bushiri War. Because the leader of that resistance, the man who was organized, was called Bushiri bin Salim. He was coming from Pangani, north part of Bagamoyo. He was already engaged in the slavery, and also he was has a very big sugar plantation, so he also used the slaves. So also he came here to Bagamoyo and convinced the Africans to fight against the Germans. So these are some of the Germans who were killed during the resistance. Most of them they are very young, between 20, 60, up to 30 years. There's no that the people who are working in the military, they're supposed to be very young. So are very well constructed in 1990s. By that time, the Germans wanted to take over. They wanted to excavate and collect all bones to bury against Germans, but our government refused. They said, no, it's better to preserve the graves where they are. So they decided, they found the map, they found it in the Berlin Museum. They used this map to identify who was buried here, and then they constructed the graves. But later the Germans succeeded. The Germans established the rules. For those who were opposing their rules, were hanged to death. And we are not buried. We are thrown to the sea. And before hanging them, we are invited people to come and see. And if you refuse to attend, you also could be hanged. So it was a punishment in order to afraid Africans not to resist the Germans. They succeeded. Because when they captured Bushiri as the leader was captured by the Germans and was hanged, but not in Bagamoyo. They took him and hanged in Pangani, where he was coming from. So from that time, the Germans, they signed another treaty with the Sultan of Zanzibar on a payment of 4 million marks to the Sultan. So the Sultan ceded these 10 miles in 1889. And in 1891, the Germans became a giant colony in East Africa. 1892, they shifted their port from Bagamoyo to Dar es Salaam due to the shallow water of our beach. You see, during the low tide, you can walk even 2 kilometers. The water is under the net. And from 1891, the Germans, as a colony here, they wanted to construct the infrastructure. So they wanted to bring big ships for the material. So for Bagamoyo port, it was very difficult. So they went to Dar es Salaam because of the big sea. But political, Bagamoyo was still in use as the administration. Dar es Salaam was just used as a commercial. because of the point. That's why you can see a lot of the buildings here built from 1895 by the Germans, including the State House, the post office, the schools, and the hospital. You can see later on the way. Okay, I don't like to make a very long speech. We have many sites to see, but here you can be free, although the graves are written in German, but I think you can manage. So you have 10 minutes here, be around it, but if there are any questions, we'll be around. We have a good cooperation. Yeah, we have a good cooperation, especially in health. Yeah.